Capital One has now revealed why it shut down more than 300 Trump-affiliated bank accounts. The bank says it made the decision after months of analysis by its anti-money laundering team, and they identified transactional patterns flagged by federal banking guidance involving 300 accounts associated with Donald Trump. Now, let's be very precise here. The Trump organization, is very litigious. Capital One is not accusing Trump of committing money laundering. What it's saying is there was an investigation done, a review of transactions, and it triggered anti-money laundering sort of alerts, and we've decided to shut it down. They are not coming out and saying the Trump organization is laundering money. Not specifically, they are not saying that because Trump is extraordinarily litigious, but that is the reason for why the accounts were closed. Now, it's an important legal distinction, but it's also a devastating detail here because Capital One notified the Trump organization in March 5 years ago, we are going to close more than 300 of your affiliated accounts. This is not a single checking account because, Eric tried to Venmo Don $14 for lunch or something like that. We're talking about 300 different bank accounts. The Trump organization sued and they said, what you're doing is political. You're debanking us because you're woke and because of the political environment after January 6th or whatnot. So the reason we are now learning why the accounts were really closed is because of Trump's lawsuit. So Capital One has now come out and said, no, we didn't close the accounts because we dislike you. We didn't close the accounts because we are angry about January 6th. We closed 300 of your accounts because we had an anti-money laundering investigation done and our experts reviewed the activity and there were suspicious banking patterns. And they said that the whole "we're persecuting you" theory of the Trump organization is straight up completely wrong. Now, the lawsuit from Trump against Capital One has already had 2 complaints thrown out, but the court allowed the Trump organization to try again. And Capital One is saying there's the same problems here. There's no truth to what they are arguing. And it is an extraordinary irony here because Trump has spent years saying, oh, banks are conspiring against right-wing people. And he signs this executive order saying you can't do discriminatory debanking. And he pressures financial institutions not to do what he sees as discriminatory banking. But when the Trump organization sues Capital One to prove, look, we were the victims of woke discrimination, Capital One goes, no. This was about money laundering. The transactional pattern of these accounts was so concerning for money laundering that our experts said we're going to shut down these accounts. Trump's attempt to prove I'm being persecuted politically has produced a formal statement from the bank where they go, they're anti-money laundering. The pattern was a dead ringer for money laundering. Now, that alone, think about prior presidencies. There are prior presidencies in a different era, a bygone era in the United States, where such a declaration from a bank, 300 accounts were closed because of money laundering patterns. That would have wreaked complete and total havoc on prior presidencies. Imagine a Democratic president's family business having more than 300 accounts closed after a review like this. Republicans would be 24/7 on Fox News for months. They would be holding a hearing every 6 minutes. And with Trump, you probably didn't even hear about this. Republicans control the House. Republicans control the Senate. They control the presidency. They have a judiciary that has been transformed by Trump into an arm of revenge. They haven't solved a single damn problem for ordinary Americans. Their policies have failed for the majority of people. And meanwhile, Donald Trump's accounts are being closed for anti-money laundering rules. And if you look at who has succeeded under this second Trump term, it's been the wealthy, it's been the well-connected, it's been criminals who get pardons and get excused from all sorts of wrongdoing. Now, none of this proves Trump laundered money, but Trump demanded to know, why did they shut me down? And now the answer is public, and it is a disaster. Now, this is a reminder of why a lot of these Trump lawsuits can backfire. And we've talked about the one against BBC, which might 180 on Trump and lead to Barron being deposed. If you move forward with these lawsuits, the opposing party can put out information that is bad for you. And also the opposing party can end up in a situation where they get discovery and they can depose you or people affiliated with you. Trump doesn't want that. It's a disaster. And I wouldn't be surprised if after this, the BBC lawsuit potentially does a 180 as well. We'll keep an eye on it. Thanks for watching. Check out this other video. And if you like our content, make sure to subscribe so YouTube puts our videos in your feed, and subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple.